Hey, what's up everybody? Bringing you another video. This time is the Four Horsemen Mythic Legions, Kkurzog, the Ogre, and the Ogre Legion Builder. I'm going to do these guys 2-in-1. While they have the same body, there's just minor differences between them, so I felt like it was the time to review them together. It's a little easier for me, instead of doing two separate videos and not blessing you guys. So I'm going to try to knock it out in one. Now, I think I'll review Kkurzog, and then we'll do the minor differences with the Ogre Legion Builder after. As I try not to have rubber baby bubbers mouth, and I did it anyway. So here we have Kkurzog, who is nicely painted, looks fantastic, and I think the only deal that I can honestly say gripe-wise is that I wish I had bought more. They do suffer from one minor gripe that I'll talk about in the video as well. It was probably my only issue, but I was able to fix it myself. It's not one of those things that I needed the company for. So shout out to them because they were willing to replace it anyway. So shout out to the Four Horsemen for that. Thank you guys. I appreciate you. Also, pleasure meeting you guys at DesignerCon. So again, shout out to you. Now, Kkurzog has an awesome head sculpt. As you can see, it's painted fantastic. And it has a nice blend of yellows and grays on the teeth. And the green color stands out because it's a nice wash to it, which I really think some of you guys are going to really enjoy. Now, all the ogres and the ogre legion builders have the same articulation. What you do and how you do it depends on how you want to go about it. There is the chest harness, which should not get in the way of anything you do. But should you feel like getting rid of it, this is what the bare body will look like. Now, as far as articulation goes, the arm goes up and it rotates. See here, not too much of a problem. The paint will scrape a little. So if that bothers you, pop out the joint, which is very easy. Scrape all that excess paint out that you may not want if it bothers you. There is a single joint. It rotates in and then it rotates down. So this is your main articulation for the arm and how you'll get it. So just keep that in mind. When you rotate it forward, there is also a hinge with a Figma-like peg. See how that popped out with ease, which is very good. That peg goes up and down like a Figma. It can curl in and is actually pretty strong and holds its weight. Something I very much enjoy, especially when I want to get crazy with posing. The battle axe holds pretty well. As you can see here, no real issues. I'm going to keep that in his arm. Now, for the waist articulation, it has the Mezco-like Hulk maneuver, where the ab torso is all one, but it's on the ball joint. And as you can see, he can tuck in pretty far forward. You guys should go pretty decently back and rotate to the side. I think if I were going to have a gripe, but I kind of didn't expect, is that you can't rotate the head in a way that you would like to fit that articulation. So you will do a little bit of fidgeting and angling with cameras as you rotate it a certain way. But I feel like that's just not something that was meant for people like me and mine who would get extreme with the articulation. I think it was meant to be a very good stand-up piece. Because as you can see here, I've made it work articulation-wise. It works at the angle that I'm pointing at, with your sight of direction as well as the way it looks. So as you can see, even though the focus isn't on the hammer, you can see directly where Kkurzog is aiming towards. That's something that I've learned with photography that you can do. Voila. The legs can go all the way out. Voila, right? And they can come back down and go forward. And you have to be really careful here because when I got these, it was very cold outside. So the plastic was left brittle. So I do implore you to make sure that you heat up your figures beforehand. Scrape away that excess paint if you need to, but for the most part, make sure you give them a nice hot bath so that way all these joints can become movable, because man oh man, those temperatures are no joke. And it has excellent ankle pivot that rotates in and out, forwards and backwards as well. Now again, if we're going to talk about the articulation part and what I did, the one thing I could say that they didn't also, before I forget, there's a thigh swivel as well. Let me keep that in mind, guys. I don't want to sit here and lie to you guys. But as you can see here, right? So I'm going to rotate this articulation to a point that allows him to look very cool, attempting to attack or attack. And as you can see, if you were doing it at an angle like this, right? It's angled just fine to look pretty well. But you can't get that extension and rotate the head to the side without giving it some sticky tack. That would make it look perfect, but it would stand out. You want it to look flush and natural. So you got to rotate that arm in a little more, rotate it towards the face, get him to work it out. That's how you get it to work a lot better. So that's a quick tip for you guys. Hopefully it'll help if you are posing up your ogres, right? Now, Kkurzog, and his differences are his paint job and the fact that he actually has his feet out. These guys have the more boots to protect themselves, as well as the normal paint job. Now, the one thing that I've very much learned while being in the Cabal page on Facebook is that these guys know how to paint. They know how to customize. And when they get a Legion builder, excuse me, and when they get a Legion builder, one of the cool things I've learned is that they paint all this stuff up. It's highly detailed, but painting this stuff up is definitely one of the cool things that I've learned from them, and it looks absolutely fantastic as they go wild with that. I'm also just now noticing that the belts have a difference as well. I really wish I bought another Kkurzog. I suck at this. I should have gotten more. But they look absolutely fantastic. Also, the heads on these guys have helmets to protect them. But if you have Bothor the Tower, you can actually swap those horns out with these guys, right? So you actually have a lot of options on these guys. You don't have to actually keep everything all normal and cool. And even between these two, I've actually swapped it up a difference. So, right, I've gotten his harness on, gotten his in, and they look different. Even the gauntlets on them I've swapped out because they come with interchangeable ones. So you can have the standard ones that you get. You can swap it to these guys and make it look more bare, make it look like kind of like a Colosseum orc. So let's say you want to pop this head on and use Kkurzogs. So now you have a young Kkurzog. So it's things like this that you can actually swap around and have fun with, and differences that kind of make this line really cool. And me getting into it now, I'm kind of bummed I got into it so late, and I really wish I would have gotten more, but oh well, that's just how it is, right? So, right, one of the other things I want to talk about now is their weapons. Now, with Kkurzog, you only get his particular axe, but with the Legion builder, you actually get two axes. You'll get this version, and you get one with the mace head. This is actually pretty cool, and I'm going to try to actually paint one of these guys up. Really like the way these look. There's the battle damage in it as well. See if I can get that zoom in on it. There we go. See, there's cracks in his blades, things like that. Little things like that go a long way for people who do more in-depth photography than I do. I do the more action stuff. Then we have the mace head, which actually looks fantastic. But what you don't know or may not see at first glance is that you can actually take these apart and actually start customizing these to a point, right, where you can make longer weapons. So let's say you wanted a longer mace. You now have a longer mace. Let's say you wanted to make it even longer. There's pieces to extend that kind of stuff. I don't even think I have the right ones out because I have so many. Yeah, I have so many out. But there's another piece to extend it. Oh, wait, here it is. It's on this guy, right? And you can actually combine it to the point where it's crazy long and have a double-sided axe or a double-sided mace. Things like this, customized-wise, are actually pretty cool because you just never know what you're going to get. As I unplug this, now it's a regular axe again. Now I have a long mace. You can put the endings on. Voila. So you can dual wield and things like that. This line is all about imagination, all while having its own world. And I can't stress enough, really, really, really cool. Trying my best not to curse because I promised my wife I would stop doing that. She heard my live the other day on IG and she was just like, yeah, you got to stop cursing. So I'm trying. I'm doing my best. Anyway, what I am going to do is put this guy all the way in the background, and I'm going to show you guys what he looks like size-wise with a bunch of other lines as well as with other Mythic Legions. So actually, let's first do some Mythic Legions so you can see what's going on. Here he is next to the new troll that I got over at, sorry, not troll, new goblin that I got over at Designer Con. And here he is size-wise with him. Let's just roll this down a little bit so we can see a little better. Here he is with Brother Mandible, another Mythic Legion. I actually want to get him next to an orc as well. So you can see size-wise, he actually pretty much is bigger than everyone else. The only one bigger than him are stuff like the Forest Troll and Brontus and a few others. So this is what it looks like with other Mythic Legions sized up, right? Now we're going to put him with some other lines and see how he looks so you guys can see what's going down. So here he is next to an Articulated Icons Ninja. Not to say that you can't get Ogres furs as ninjas. This is your world with your toys, so have fun. Here he is next to a Marvel Legends Black Knight, because he kind of fits in that line. Here he is with an SHF Garo, who definitely fits in with these guys, which if you have Garo, you know this actually works really, really well. So size-wise, he's up there. Then the Mythic Legion, the Mezco Wonder Woman. I was about to say Mythic Legion's Wonder Woman. So here he is with Mezco's Wonder Woman. Ooh. She gets caught on Garo's cape. Voila. Again, he towers over pretty much everyone, but that's kind of the look. That's kind of the point. So let's move these guys out of the way. Right? Here he is with Link from Figma. And Link is tiny. That he might even end up becoming a boss battle. Here he is with the Lightning Collection Red Ranger. Here he is with the famed Figma Goblin Slayer. Right? Lots of stuff, lots of sizes. But as you can see, you can clearly see the difference. And I'm even going to put it in my photos at the end so you guys can see it a little closer. Here he is with the DC Essentials Cheetah. The Black Series Mandalorian. Because these guys can even fit in with Star Wars lore as well. It's pretty dope. Voila. Last but not least, we're going to do Mezco Batman and a Figma Saber Altar. For those of you that's going to ask, this Batman was made by Toy Wale and Harker Customs. I did a video on that as well. And then here he is with Saber. And just because, stand-up Saber. Last but not least, an SHF Kamen Rider. Just in case you think Garo doesn't suit the look. Voila. This has been a fantastic toy. I've enjoyed army building them because I went all in at the beginning. So it pretty much worked out for me. Oh, you know who I forgot? And I want to add in before I go. How could I forget my main man Guts and his Berserker armor? So, I know I said I would add it in photos at the end, but just in case you're skipping around, right? Voila. But yeah, really enjoyed the fact that I've army built these guys. They look fantastic. They have a great look to them. They have a great feel. No, they're not double jointed and they may not be for everyone and that's your preference. But if you are into mythological stuff, if you love Lord of the Rings, or you just love mythological things that can kind of fit in with anything that you want, this is definitely the line for you. And I highly advise that you jump in. If not, you can totally leave it alone and admire from afar, and that's cool too. In the meantime, guys, as always, be good, do good, drink your water. Later.